Hi again, friends, and welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live for this Wednesday. It's July 12th of 2023. I'm Dan Ramey. Thank you for joining us on this day. Coming up here shortly, we'll take a look at what's making news across the Scioto Valley. There's a lot of sports today. This is always that period of time, like I mentioned yesterday, that there's not a whole lot that usually goes on during the All-Star break, but there is a lot of stuff that has happened here the last couple of days that we want to jump into and share with you coming up. Also, this date in history is just around the corner as well, and we will get things started with weather in just a moment. I want to take a moment to remind you that we have a YouTube channel. You'll be able to see us on YouTube through all these videos that we have put together. More than 1,300 videos we've compiled in the 6 years that it will mark 6 years coming in October. So almost 6 years, but a lot of videos. And it's all really surrounding things in our local communities. So if you want to see those, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's a free subscription, doesn't cost you anything. Just click on the bell icon. That way you'll receive a reminder whenever we upload something new, like we had earlier today with our special edition featuring Pickaway County on Litter Media Live this morning at 10 o'clock. More details about that in just a moment, too. But first, let me tell you about the weather. Looking at some sunshine yet again today. It's going to be hot again. Not quite as warm as it was yesterday. We reached into the low 90s. But today we're expecting to see temperatures in the upper 80s once again. For tomorrow, we're dealing with highs around 82 degrees. There is a chance of showers and thunderstorms on Thursday. And then sun and clouds mixed coming Friday, with high temperatures in the upper 80s. You can see all of this on our weather app that you'll find on littermedia.com. And if you take a look, it'll just click on it, and you'll see the wind going. You'll see what precipitation there is. Nothing threatening us right now, but we do have some weather that is on the way here soon. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. You keep an ear on us, as we used to say on the radio. Coming up in just a moment, we're going to talk about radio. Details are just around the corner. I want to tell you about McDonald's. Today being Wednesday is their day for open interviews. So if you've been looking for work, maybe you find yourself coming back from your vacation. You said, okay, school was long enough. I wanted to have a month off and then jump into the workforce. Well, here's your opportunity today. Stop in at any one of our local McDonald's restaurants, 4 here in Chillicothe, in Circleville, in Greenfield, and in Waverly. They have open interviews every Wednesday from 2 until 5, your chance to meet with the manager and find out if you're a right fit for the McDonald's crew, because they're looking for you. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Coming up, look at news next.
If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just
It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
What is making news today on our website? Well, we always invite you to go to littermedia.com. A lot of things being there. Mike is not in studio with us this week, but he is still putting together stories, is what I meant to say, from his studio in Florida. And we've got all kinds of things that you'll find, and that includes this guy right here. James Payne, as Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has appointed him to the Vinton County Court of Pleas General and Domestic Relations Division. Payne from MacArthur will assume office on July 31st and will be taking a seat formerly held by James Salyer, who resigned that seat effective June 4th. Payne will serve the remainder of the unfinished term and then need to run for election in November of 2024 to retain this seat for a subsequent term. So congratulations to MacArthur's own James Payne. Following the recent signing of the state operating budget, various organizations have shared their support for the Social Media Parental Notification Act, which was included in the budget and championed by Lieutenant Governor John Husted. The new initiative will require certain online companies to obtain verifiable parental consent to contractual terms of service before permitting kids under the age of 16 to use their platforms. The law also includes a requirement for companies to provide parents with their privacy guidelines to show them what will be censored or moderated content on their child's profile. Mentioned to you that we're going to talk about radio, and we did earlier today. Round Town Radio's Travis Young. This is an internet radio station. You won't be able to find it on your radio, but certainly find it on your computer or your mobile device. You can find them by Google. You can check into them on their website, which is it is roundtownradio.net. And it'll take you right there to what they play a lot of music, a whole bunch of music, and they've got some local shows they do as well. So if you want to learn more, just take a look at the interview we had earlier today on our YouTube channel. You'll also find it here on our Facebook page for Round Town Radio. Don't forget, coming up this weekend, the Chillicothe JCs, the Chillicothe Junior Chamber, and Special Santa have their 5K run and walk. It starts there at Bulmer Field, the Shelter House in Yaktangi Park. It starts at 9 a.m. You can register the day of at 8 a.m. And, of course, this all helps to benefit the Special Santa Project. My granddaughter is going to need to see this. Next Tuesday, it is the Aristocats Kids. She has been crazy nuts about Aristocats on the Disney Channel. And they're having this Tuesday, 7 p.m. at their theater on South Walnut Street. Everybody wants to be a cat, and you want to see the Aristocats Kids. Be watching this afternoon here on Litter Media for a special edition this afternoon with Kathy Steyer, the Executive Director of Adena Mansion and Gardens, to talk about Sunday's celebration of Thomas Worthington's 250th birthday. We're going to shoot for about 2 o'clock this afternoon with that conversation with Kathy Steyer. So if you want to join in, we certainly would appreciate that. As a part of the Ohio Department of Transportation District 9's Planning Department, the district's Environmental Office is seeking public input for a bridge maintenance project on State Route 138 over in Highland County. It's proposed to rehabilitate the bridge over Rattlesnake Creek on 138 in Highland County. The project is located in a rural area of Madison and Paint Townships of Highland County. The deadline for public comment is August 11th. And while we're talking roads, let's get right into our Ohio road report. This up in Fairfield County today, a slope repair project installing a drilled shaft wall on State Route 37 along Rush Creek, just west of Fairfield-Perry County line. The estimated project completion is this month. That's good news, especially for a lot of folks that go up 37 on your way to Buckeye Lake or wherever you're taking a shortcut up to I-70. A lot of folks do that as well. All right, that's a look at what's making news for us today. Coming up in just a moment, we'll take a look at sports. As I mentioned to you earlier, we've got a bunch of sports to get to today, so that is on the way. Much of it is baseball, but we have some other sports involved as well. I want to tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. For more than 40 years now, they have started here locally, but they have branched out, and they service all the way down to the Ohio River, as far east over to Dayton, as far north as Columbus. And you want to find out more? Simply click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, and it'll take you right to their website to learn more about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
Archway of Opportunities is a scholarship program. It can include the crew members and it can include managers. The scholarship is $2,500 for crew members and it's $3,000 for managers. For my store alone, we've had $35,000 go out just in 1 year. And for all 7 of our stores, we had $66,000 in scholarship funds.
It is time for sports, and let's get things started in the way of Major League Baseball. It was the All-Star game last night in Seattle, Washington, and it took, 10 tries, or did they snap an 11-game losing streak? The National League All-Stars picked up a 3-2 win over the American League, all thanks to the Mets' Elias Diaz. He smacked a 2-run homer to lift the National League All-Stars to victory, again for the first time since, 2012, I believe it was. Next up, for the Reds and the Guardians, it'll be the Brewers coming to town for Cincinnati. They just met this past weekend. They'll meet again this weekend, with the Reds holding a 1-game edge in the National League Central over the Brewers for the lead. And the Reds lost 2 of 3 to the Brew Crew in Milwaukee. Let's see if they can get that back this weekend down in Cincinnati. Of course, it's a big weekend with Hall of Fame induction. We'll talk more about that tomorrow coming up on the program here. The Cleveland Guardians also leading the American League Central by a half game over the Minnesota Twins. They will be in Texas to take on the Rangers, who are leading the AL West by 2 games over Houston. News yesterday came out. A couple of Paints alumni selected in the 2023 Major League Baseball draft, and 2 of them including first baseman Jackson Faulkner, also last year's shortstop Jaron Williams. Williams played only 31 games with the Paints last year. Faulkner had a full 48 games the year prior, but while the Paints season in 2021 ended in the first round of the playoffs, they won it all in 2022. So these guys very instrumental in helping the Paints be successful. So congratulations to those 2 fellas. Now the Paints of this year, battling in Johnstown last night, got a nice knock, actually 2 from Victor Figueroa. 2 2-run home runs to help the Paints win over the Mill Rats 8-5 last night in Johnstown. They'll play there again tonight and then return to VA Memorial Stadium tomorrow night to open up a 5-game homestand. Waverly's 2nd annual Midnight Madness Volleyball Tournament is going to be Friday. However, it's not going to be at Waverly. And the reason for that is they're resurfacing the gym floors at Waverly, and so it is being moved to Chillicothe High School. And they'll have pool play to set the tournament seating. Pool play begins at 5 p.m. Haddon Memorial Gymnasium and Cox Gym will also be used. The tournament follows that pool play. Participating schools, you see them right here: Chillicothe, Eastern Pike, Memphis, Portsmouth, Notre Dame, Southeastern, Trimble, Unioto, Waverly, Wellston, Western Pike, Wheelersburg, and St. Trace. Stores will open up at 4 p.m. They'll have concessions available. Admission, just $2. Admission is free for kids 10 and under, and those of us that are aged senior citizens. Also in sports for you, this is a brand new golf tournament. It's named after local physician Jack Burno. It's the 2023 Jack Burno Memorial Golf Classic, and it's coming up on September 29th. And the folks involved with this at Adina, they're trying to do what they can to help raise money scholarship-wise. And I tell you, this guy, I do a lot of emceeing for fundraisers and a lot of events, and have been doing that for many years. I can't tell you how many times I saw Jack Burno at a fundraiser and dropping a bunch of money into the nonprofits. So even if you're a nonprofit organization, it is worthwhile getting involved with this tournament just to help pay back for the name of Jack Burnos. So again, more details can be found on our website, littermedia.com. Another fundraiser that's underway, Huntington Football has a camp this weekend, a fish fry as well, and they're doing plenty of other things too. They're being very active this year. A lot of excitement around the Huntington football program right now. And this jersey that you see in front of us here, a replica jersey of Garen Veras from the New England Patriots. Of course, Garen played his high school days at Chillicothe High School, went on to Stanford University, was drafted in the second round in 1985, went on to the New England Patriots, played in the Super Bowl against, you see there, that is not Vince McMahon. It's horrible. Isn't that to get crazy how the other same? McMahon was the quarterback of the Bears that year. It was not a great game for the Patriots, but nonetheless, they reached the Super Bowl as AFC champions. And they're raffling off. If you want tickets, go to our Facebook page. You can find all the details there, or you can click on Huntington Huntsman Football and get even more details there. And that fish fry and a whole lot more. It's a lot of fun. So you want to make sure you get out to the Huntington Football Complex this weekend. This news came out to us yesterday from the Cincinnati Bengals announcing their Ring of Honor ceremony will take place September 25th. They'll host the LA Rams on Monday Night Football. Voting for the Ring of Honor took place between May 22nd and June 11th. The ballot featured 13 nominees. I don't know how you pick just 2 out of these names. They're going to be announced next week, the 2 selected from Jim Breach, James Brooks, Chris Collinsworth, Corey Dillon, Boomer Esiason, David Fulcher, Chad Ochocinco Johnson, Tim Crumry, Max Montoya, Dave Lapham, Lamar Parrish, Bob Trumpy, and Reggie Williams. How do you pick only 2 out of those great names in Cincinnati Bengals history? Isaac Curtis and Willie Anderson were entered into the Ring of Honor last year, joining in the inaugural class of Paul Brown, Anthony Munoz, Kenny Anderson, and Ken Riley. But again, how do you do it? How do you pick out of that group of names? And I could maybe weed a couple of them out, but there are so many great names there from the Bengals past. And if I were to pick, take a look back here, I have a feeling that it's going to be Boomer Esiason and Chris Collinsworth. That's just my gut feeling. Dave Lapham, Bob Trumpy, they have been very big in the media for Cincinnati over the last, 40 years or so. And Reggie Williams was just Mr. Everything. How do you not pick Reggie Williams? Tim Crumry. Here's a guy that you would go through a brick wall for. It's hard to whittle those things down. But that's why they have the public's vote, I guess, to come across that. But they'll announce that tomorrow. Also, just before we took the air, I saw that Hard Knocks from HBO and NFL Films has selected, surprise, surprise, the New York Jets. You think they're not going to try their best to capitalize on Aaron Rodgers being a Jet? That was probably the big reason that they selected the Jets for Hard Knocks. That's a look at sports. We've got this date in history coming your way in just a moment, so stay close for that. I want to take a moment to tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. If you find yourself in need of a dumpster, maybe you've got a project going on at your home or your business, and you need something to put all that in so it can be hauled away, well, Carl and his group at Scioto Valley Dumpsters will do that for you. 740-253-8389. Tell them Dan and Mike sent you for Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
Who drinks Budweiser? You know the type. The people who grind. Those who don't back down.
and the ones who don't quit. They say all people are 6 degrees of separation away from each other, but some are just a six-pack away. The people who share the same spirit share the same beer. This Bud's for you.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
It is time to turn the Wayback Machine to 1957 for this date in history. When Dwight Eisenhower was president, he became the first president to ride in the newest advance in aviation technology, the helicopter. Although experimental military helicopters had been tested since 1947, it wasn't until 10 years later that a president considered using the new machine for short official trips to and from the White House. That would become known as Marine One. Eisenhower suggested the idea to the Secret Service, which approved the new mode of transportation, seeing it as safer and more efficient than the traditional limousine motorcade. The HMX-1 Nighthawks squadron put into the president's service was initially administered jointly by the Army and the Marine Corps. 1976, the Marine Corps took over all the helicopter operations. And here you see not only President Eisenhower, but also Winston Churchill right there. So thank you again to Wikimedia Commons for that photo. It took me a while to track that down. And that was, I want to say it said on the photo 1953, but if it wasn't until 1957 that he became the first president to do it. So sometimes numbers get mixed up, and perhaps whoever the photographer was just dated it 1953, thinking it was 57. I don't know. That's it for today's daily program. Coming up, I've got a special edition for you at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Kathy Steyer will be here from Adena Mansion and Gardens to talk about their big birthday weekend for Thomas Worthington. I recall being there in 2017. I think at that time, what was it, the 240-something birthday. But this is going to be the 250th birthday of Thomas Worthington, so you won't want to miss out on that. Coming up on Sunday, of course, they'll also be hosting the Chamber of Commerce's Business After Business next Wednesday at Adena Mansion and Gardens. So that's it for the program. Thank you for watching. Back at it again tomorrow with another edition of Litter Media Live.